the Minds of Aspirants. This is a series of videos that we have been making in Minds of Aspirants. It is called as the Thinkers and the World in 10 points. And we have already seen what is a Renaissance, what is an Enlightenment. So the next topic that we are going to see here is about this Industrial Revolution. And this is a GS paper 1 question. UPSC GS paper 1 question, you can check it. So in order to know this, you have to know that the first point. So we will go to the first point. You should know that the Industrial Revolution had, see, that's why I made the video on Renaissance and Enlightenment before. Meaning is that Renaissance and Enlightenment, okay, Enlightenment and Reformation, all these things, okay, all these things gave rise to a scientific and rational thinking. Scientific and rational thinking, which was earlier, a faith-based thinking. This was the faith-based thinking to scientific thinking. Now, this was the base on which industrial revolution actually happens. That's why you should know that. First, please check the videos, and you can continue with these videos also. The second point that you should notice, it is called as industrial revolution. Why is it called as the revolution? Is what you should know through this video. So it is a period that we are talking about around 760 to 840. This is the period in which we are actually talking about. So, if you see this Enlightenment and Reformation and the Renaissance, this will be 16th to 18th century. So, a movement which actually, arose and was there for 2 centuries, gave rise to this industrial revolution, and that's what they had asked in this question also. But they are asking how far industrial revolution is responsible for decline. So that's a different category, but you should know what is an industrial revolution, right? So this is the time period that I am talking about, or this is the time period that this is talking about. But you should know that it is a series of revolution. What is the meaning of a revolution is that social order, okay? Social order completely changes. You should understand the difference between a revolution and a evolution. Here, it is not like it evolved into a society of different society. Here, it actually evolved into a different order. For example, so that is what first revolution. It is a social revolution. What is the social revolution in this means? It is from a feudal society. Okay, it is from a feudal society evolved into a modern society. This I had explained in the Renaissance and the Enlightenment video as well. Here, you should know that earlier the relationship with the Lord was, feudal. It was called as the serfs. But what happened after this is the change which happened, and that became what is called as the modern society. And what is the reason for that and things you should know? There was something called as an enclosure movement. So, how did this happen? Means there was an enclosure movement. See, many things were there, but this is an enclosure movement started at the time when, okay, the large landholders, okay, the large landholders in UK, large landholders, what they did was they actually reorganized their land into large lands, and they, in order for to increase their profit, okay, in order to increase their profit, they gave up so many serfs. So what the serfs did was they went in search of jobs to the urban areas. Okay. So this is the second, or this is the, see, and one more thing, it will have more points. So this is the fourth point. So basically, you see how the scientific revolutions have given rise to the industrial revolution. Industrial revolution is actually basically the change in social order. How from a feudal society, modern society came. I'm just starting with how this feudal or the modern society came means the industry. There was an enclosure movement. Basically, what they did was they enclosed all the lands. They wanted to increase the profit. They wanted to increase the production as well, and hence they wanted to increase the land. So you have a parcel land means you cannot increase, so you increase the surface area and you can increase the productivity. And what happened as a result was these serfs who were dependent on the feudal laws had to now go in search of some other job. Hence there was an urban revolution. Watch it very carefully. That is, it started from this concept of enclosure movement, and this urban revolution. What is the meaning is that people from, you think about it, these serfs would have been there in the rural areas. Okay, you would see that they were having this jobs as serfs in the rural areas, but now they were looking for jobs in the urban areas. Mainly in Europe and all, they came to the coastal zones, because coastal zones is where trade used to happen. Now, in order for an industrial modern society, you need what is called as the labor force. Okay, so that labor force was nothing but the force which was given up because of the movement which happened, enclosure movement happened, and they went outside for looking for jobs. Now what happened as a result was, now see this, now Karl Marx, okay, as Karl Marx rightly said, there was a capitalistic society or capitalist, and you had what is called as a labor. Now these two are trying to come across. Now you check, my friends.
Lincoln program. Lincoln is a prelims cum mains complete batch that also we have planned. So both the brochures I'll be putting in Minds of Aspirant group. The details of Lincoln batch I have made in other videos also. You can check those videos. Any other doubts regarding Lincoln, you can call the number. We will be very happy to clarify on that. Thank you for watching. All the best.
The capitalists usually were the landholding communities who were there, but here the laborers were the free floating population who were there and coming to the urban areas. But the capitalist also was, what happened was, they were also entrepreneurs. Okay, there were also entrepreneurs, meaning is that now you think about it, the scientific and the scientific and renaissance movement, what it did was it gave rise to people, it gave rise to people from Europe. Okay, it gave rise to people from Europe going to different colonies. First they were not called as colonies, in pursuit of land. The point is that as a result, they were able to make trade. You think about it. I will give you one example. The East India Company. That is, it was started around 1600s. You think about it, my friends. Renaissance and scientific revolution that I say is actually starting from 16th to 17th, 18th century. What happens, this East India Company, maybe I will make a separate video on this as well because it's a very large topic. What I'm trying to say is that earlier capitalists were land holding community, but once the scientific revolution came, people who traded outside, they started. So for example, here it is a joint holding company. Okay, it is a joint holding company. This company has what entrepreneurs, and they started having the money. Okay, so you started having what is called as the industrial revolution, or the capitalist. So for a capitalist or an industrial revolution, you need the capitalist, right? Now the capitalists were ready. It was both the landholding community and also the people who traded. Okay, I'll make a separate with the industrial revolution which happened because of the East India Company and things like that. I'll make a separate video. But what happened is that you have these capitalists now. These capitalists now want what is called as a uh, industries, or they make a factory system. Okay, no more. Okay, no serfs. It is based on wages. I again want to go to this point. You think about it. The industrialists, okay, the industrialists started going to different places for trading. When they go there, they also automatically uh, take the raw materials from there. Okay, they actually go for trading and they get many things, but they also get the raw materials. Once the raw materials come to the place, you think about it, my friends. You can have a factory. Okay, you can have a factory. Now see this. Earlier you needed land. Earlier, you needed serfs. Now, what is happening is that you can establish a factory, you have the raw materials, you have the labor, you have the capital as well. So, what you do is that you start a factory system instead of the earlier serfdom. What then happens is that eighth. So, what happens then is that eighth point. Uh, there is a trade, or okay, trade barrier. Example is that, okay, example is that navigation act. Okay, example is navigation act. You should know that what the Britishers did was they had mercantilized or mercantilism policy. That was a later thing, but what they had was their own goods. They said that, see, look at what they did. Navigation Act 16, okay, 1600s or something, 1600, 1651. What they did was they said that only their goods have to be traded. Only their ships have to be used for trading. Their colonies, especially USA, okay, especially because these people, next video maybe I will make on Protestant ethic, okay, Protestant ethic and capitalism. I will make a separate video. This is what, in this I will explain how Britishers then colonized USA. But what you should note is that they made this colonization from Europe. Okay, they made this colonization from Europe in the eastern section. But what they had a condition is that they will take the raw materials. Okay, they will take the raw materials, but what the US government has to do, or the US the people in USA should do, is that use only the products manufactured by in Britain. So basically, they are doing what means they are enabling through the trade barriers, through acts like this Navigation Act, the Britishers did. What they, and hence is what the US, you had this US revolution law. Basically, this trade barrier stops others from manufacturing, and they were manufacturing. Okay, UK or the United Kingdom or British manufacturing. But they also had acts like Corn Act. Corn Act was an act where there was prohibition for import of corn, because it was, see, this is the change you should understand. Till now, the capitalists were only the land holding communities. Now, entrepreneurs are also coming. So, what they did was, maybe I'll also make this in a separate video. Okay, I'll explain that how in Parliament they did that. It's a very interesting story of. I'll tell you in simple terms. In Parliament, so this is the House of Lords. This is a House of Commons. What happens in the transition is that land holding community slowly loses power, new entrepreneurs come, they push for laws which is actually good for them. If they have to push for laws which are good for them, they have to import cheap corn. They were not able to import earlier because the people, the land holding community, they stopped it through laws. Now it was the time of the entrepreneurs. They started importing corn. They made a, see, they removed that law. So now corn is removed. Now you have surplus labor, correct? The surplus labor, now it becomes a demographic revolution. What is the meaning of a demographic revolution? That I mean is that now urbanization started, people have started to come, corn is there, food is there, raw material is there. Now you have more children. So you had what is called as the number increasing. This is the demographic revolution that happened, and hence you had what is called as a large number of people coming to this point. And then you had what is 10th point, maybe 10th point is the slave trade. Maybe I will make this into a separate video on slave trade, how it happens, or a trade video I will make. Basically, I will tell you what they did. They actually used the capital of the slaves or people from Africa and made them as a slave and used their capital or used their labor in order to build their empire. With this, I will complete this video. What I'm meaning is that look at this point. They went for trade to different zones. Okay, they went to trade for different zones. But in this area, they started colonizing and they had to grow what is called as corn, sugar cane. Okay, tobacco, these and all they grew. But to grow this, okay, to grow this, they wanted labor. This labor is what they took from Africa as slave. So basically, if they had paid the wages for the work they did, this amount of capital could not be generated. Understand it. If I make 100, let us assume that I make 100 rupees from all this that I do. But I have to give 50 or so, okay, 40, at least 40 rupees for wages. What happens is that I am left with 60 rupees. But what if the people are, brought as a slave? I take 100 rupees. I don't spend anything. This is the accumulation. This is the capital accumulation, profit accumulation. This is the exploitation that Marxist talks about, which happened in the industrial revolution era in order to generate what is called as capitalism. This is the basic of industrial revolution. This is basically the points that I have gone through one by one of how the society changed. This actually resulted in a lot of exploitation, not only of the slave trade that I said, it also exploited India. And that is what is the question. Maybe in the next video, one more video, I will explain that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. All the best. And you can send this video to anyone who are preparing for the mains and they want to know about the world history. You can send them this. And anybody who would like to know about world history, you can send them this. Please like this video and share this video and subscribe to Minds of Aspirant channel. Thank you.
In Minds of Aspirant, we are also going to start this GENE 2026 Anthropology Foundational course for any of you who wish to study anthropology as a subject, as an optional paper for UPSC. And if you have any doubts as regarding how to write an answer, everything will be covered in that anthropology batch. Any of the mains candidates who wish to write mains also can approach us for GENE 2026 batch. I will include them in a specific way so that they will be able to write this examination which is coming in the mains. So thank you for watching. All the best.